Numbers mean for his re-election campaign, or is November 2012 so far away? These numbers don't really matter. Well, let's ask our panel. Adam Geller is a Republican pollster for New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, and Margie Omero is a Democratic pollster and founder of Momentum Analysis, LLC. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
All right, Margie, what does he do with those numbers? He's officially launched his re-election campaign. Those can't feel very positive within that camp at this point.
Well, you're absolutely right that these numbers could be a problem for the president down the road. But right now, I don't look at just the number that you cited, but also the generic ballot question where that Gallup also asks of the president versus a Republican candidate for president. And President Obama wins that contest. He wins in key states right now, such as North Carolina and Nevada. And Ohio, I've seen polling where he's winning in multiple targeted battleground states. And then you see polling that shows Democrats have the advantage in the generic ballot for Congress for the first time by the largest margin since 2009. So I think if you look at the climate in its totality, the president looks strong.
And Adam, do you agree? I mean, when you look beyond just that 39% approval rating, which is the first time below 40% for this president during his term,
right.
There are a lot of other numbers out there that Margie points out. So are they more important than that single indicator?
Well, there are some polls that Margie cites that do show the president to be, quote unquote, in better shape. The problem is that there's a lot more other polls and a lot more nationally respected polls that show the president in bad shape. Look, Margie's point is that a lot can happen in 15 months. That's absolutely true. But at this point in time, there's a lot that has to happen, including economic growth, including lowering this unemployment rate dramatically in order to get this job approval rate up. Here's the context. A job approval rate of 39% is very, very bad. In order for an incumbent to have a good chance to win re-election, they've got to be at least 49, 50%. Now, contained within that Gallup poll, of course, is the president's job approval on the economy. Only 26% approve of that, and within that, 23% of independents. The economy, clearly one of the most important issues going into 2012, and all we've gotten from the Obama administration so far is that food stamps and unemployment checks seem to be good for the stimulus. So that ain't going to cut it in terms of their plan for the economy.
Yeah, Margie, let's touch on that poll that Adam was just referring to. 26% approve of how the president's doing on the issue of the economy, which turns out again and again to be the #1 issue that potential 2012 voters care about. Folks out there without jobs, 71% disapprove. He's down 11 points on this particular measure since mid-May. And again, one of his lowest numbers. He's going to give a big speech, we understand, after Labor Day, dealing with jobs and the economy. Will that give him a bounce on these numbers?
Well, you're both absolutely right that the economy is top of mind for a lot of voters right now. That's certainly something that I hear when I do focus groups and talk to voters. I think there's some other things to think about, though, in terms of the climate, and that's how do the people feel Obama is handling the economic crisis versus Republicans. And if you look at Fox's own poll from August, if you look at polling from around the country from all the national networks in terms of who is being the adult and trying to put together a real plan that can move forward the economy. Fox's own poll shows twice as many people feel Obama was doing that as Republicans in Congress. Republicans in Congress suffered more from the debt ceiling talks than Obama did or than Democrats in Congress. So I think there's a real difference between blame and responsibility, and I think voters feel concerned about the economy, but also feel that the president is trying to do something about it. And I think those are really different things. And when you have Republicans use this extreme talk, I mean, you mentioned food stamps. I mean, that's something, that's like a Newt Gingrich talking point. I mean, it's not where the people are. People feel that the president wants to have a balanced approach that cuts taxes to the middle class, which is something that he's been working on and it wants to continue doing, while asking the millionaires and billionaires to pay a little more, while also putting entitlements on the table, while also cutting
Margie,
the deficit.
he's not doing any of that stuff, though. The problem is the president hasn't put any significant proposals. The president hasn't put any significant proposals on the table. He's done nothing but, you said the word before, blame. He's blaming everybody. He's blaming bad luck. He's blaming Republicans. The administration is saying that Republicans want to put party before country. That is a charge of treason, essentially. So, people talk about Rick Perry and all this stuff. The fact is that they have been using this blame game for months and months and months. There has been no proposal, no plan, no jobs plan. He's waiting until September of his third year. That's just unacceptable. That's why his numbers are so low.
All right.
Here's the other thing you mentioned. You mentioned tax cuts. There hasn't been a proposal for tax cuts. If anything, they want to raise taxes. Of course, they call it revenue sweeteners. They use the code word revenue, but what they really mean is we want to raise taxes. We want to raise spending. There's
Adam,
one stimulus that failed. There's another one that's going to fail
Adam and
too.
Margie,
What about a payroll tax cut?
Adam and Margie, thank you both for weighing in on these numbers. There is a discussion that could go on for much longer, but we thank you both for giving us your insight. Thank you.
Thanks, Shannon.